One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. So let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take them chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
They're back.
What up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? What up, everybody?
What up, though?
Another week. Well, actually 2 weeks. We had to take off last week, but we back once again for another episode of Dominant Effect. I'm Archbishop, it's Mike Ball, and we got a pretty good show for you today.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be interesting. I've never interviewed a chef before, so that'll be cool.
Right. It's
like
the first
talk
time
to
for
him about
everything,
it.
right?
Yeah, the first time for everything.
Yeah, so we're gonna before we go through all that, of course, just like we always do, we're gonna see what everybody was up to for the week. So Mike, I'm gonna hit you first. What happened? How
Sure.
was your weekend?
It was a great week, man. Very productive, like always, in the media, as you guys have probably been watching. It's been wild in the media, so it's been real work oriented lately, and yeah, I've been able to enjoy some time with the family and stuff like that. Planned a trip back out to California, so it's going to be a good time, man.
That's what's up.
How about yourself, though?
Well, first, let me start off. I apologize for last week. I mean, I was I don't know what happened. I was on Kickstand Down with Frost in Trouble. And then the next day I got up to go to work, and man, it was like I had zero energy. And
you get like sick for real?
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Mm,
felt perfectly fine the night before. Got up the next morning, went to work, and man, I had zero energy. And by the time I got from my house to the job, oh man, I mean, I just felt just horrible. You know what I
damn.
mean? And I kind of hung out there for a little bit, and then I'm like, man, I got to go
You
home.
got to go. Yeah. You
And
you got to throw in the towel when you get to that level, you know? It's like,
right,
dude, I'm going home.
man, it was crazy. I mean, like I didn't have it wasn't like sick where I was like, nauseated, vomiting, stuff like that. It was more like body ache, like it's massive
Mm.
headache.
Was that like
Um,
flu level type shit?
yeah, I mean,
Mm.
like I had like 103 fever, just kept bouncing up and down.
Oh, damn, that's hot.
Um, yeah, so it was like that for like 2 days, and then the third day I got up, I was fine.
Damn.
I mean, but them 2 days was like
You were in
I
hell.
don't know what that was. I mean, I heard that it was a lot of stuff that was passing around, but it was it was crazy. Yeah, it was
Listen,
crazy.
man, for me, I do better. I would do better losing a leg than I would being getting sick. I'm a total baby when I become sick. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not gonna do shit. I'll take a shower, but that's about it.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that
about all
that
that went
sucks.
down for real. That was
Mhm.
really all about what all went down.
Damn, that I know the feeling, dude. That sucks. So I'm glad that you're feeling better, though. I can
Yeah,
tell,
appreciate it.
obviously.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so we got so I guess for this week, like everybody probably noticed, like, like this is a little out of the ordinary for Diamond Effect because everybody pretty much knows we kind of talk about what mainstream media don't talk about, and every now and again we kind of go off of it a little bit and talk
And then
about
do
some other
that
stuff.
deep rabbit hole and figure out
Right.
what's really happening. Right.
So this week we're not going to do the deep dive this week, but I mean, he may think it's going to be a deep dive from the questions that we get ready to ask him, but it's not going to be a deep dive for real.
Right. Right.
Um, I've met this man a few years ago, and um, I've been in awe of him ever since. I mean, very, very outspoken from everything that he does, his family, everything. I mean, he truly has a story to tell, and coming from a kid from New York and then bringing himself up to what he is now. I mean, he's been on the Food Network, he's been on Fox, he's been on CBS, he's been on NBC,
Damn.
been on numerous shows, and he has had a couple very nice restaurants that I wanted to go, but I didn't ever get a chance to go.
Mm.
But I've heard from friends of mine that it was like
Next level.
like right, like next level, top notch type deal. But without further ado, we're gonna bring him up. His name is Chef Johnathan Rodrigues, other known as Chef J Rod. We're gonna bring him up.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Welcome.
What's up, guys? How everybody is doing?
What's up, my
Enjoying.
brother?
What's up, guys? It's a pleasure. It's by far a pleasure.
Man, I was telling them that I met you back a few years ago, and I've kind of watched your journey from a distance because every time you come in, it was always, something new you was embarking in, another journey you was going on, and I mean, it's been real just sitting back watching, just looking and seeing, firsthand as to what all was going on with you and how you've grown as far as you have in actually just a short, quick period of time. I mean, I know you've been doing it for 20 years, but it seems like
Yeah.
here recently you've been really blessed. I mean, there's a lot of good things that's coming your way, and like I said, if I didn't say it last time, I say you congratulations on that, and but we're gonna jump into it so that way everybody else can kind of get a piece of what I know, and then I probably end up learning some more stuff along the way.
Mhm.
I appreciate that by far. And we are going live TikTok representing you guys, the Diamond Effect. So thank you for having me as a family member on the show. It truly means a lot.
It's awesome, man.
So thank you.
So my first question I'm gonna hit you with is I know that your journey has become an award-winning now, esteemed executive chef. But everything always started, I think with everyone's story, it always started with a chance and a choice. So when did your chance first come up? When did you know that this was what you wanted to do?
So it started very young, actually. I got into cooking at a really early stage in life. At that time, my mother wasn't doing so well, and my father worked a lot. So it was kind of one of those things that you try to help out around the house. And I was the kind of the last younger brother at the crib, so it was a little bit more different, for my mom to get around and stuff like that when we were there. So I remember making her. The first meal I ever made my mother was some scrambled eggs, bro. And and my mom's no longer here, by the way. So I've lost both parents so in my life, but it's a great story. And this one is definitely dedicated to the world to know. So I made her these scrambled eggs. She wasn't feeling well. She was a nurse at the time, and she was, she stood home and she was sleeping. So I got to the kitchen. I'm like, all right, try to remember everything she was doing. So then I'm going in and I make these scrambled eggs, man. I thought it was fantastic. I had it on some toast, which I thought was toasted, enough. But now that I think about it, it was not toasted enough. That can be other reason why the butter never melted. So I'm over here spreading this cold butter on this bread and then make these scrambled eggs. And then boom, I gave it to my mom. My mom was like, she's like, Jonathan. She's like, what is this? And I was like, Ma, I saw that you were tired, you're not feeling well. Here, try this. So my mom took a bite of that, bro. And she was like, I remember because her face was like that. And I'm like, is it good? And she's like, oh, this is great. I was like, perfect. So I'm living it. I'm like, all right. So, years on, I got into the school and, I'm from New York. So I'm from a town that's in Orange County. I lived
New York.
in the town. Yep. I lived in the town of Newburgh and that, was the hometown. Right. It was one of those things that it wasn't a very big town that everybody knew everybody. So long story short, from the Bronx to upstate, culture shock, different lifestyle. Now you're going in and getting into something different. The school offered a food program. And that's when I started getting a little bit more into it. I started, acknowledging like, oh, wow, there's flavors, and, this is bitter and this is salty and this is sour and this is sweet. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. And, go figure. And I'm a big guy and everybody's like, oh, you navigate to food. But for those true people that have been out there, have ever worked with me, understand I could go a whole day and we don't eat. So I don't even know how I'm still chunky, but I'm sexy chunky. So I keep it like that. All right. Let's be real to the world, right? Let's be respectful to myself, But I, respectfully went in and started learning from this teacher. Her name was Mrs. Fasulo, bro. She really engaged me into the whole beauty of the food world. And I didn't know that, the career that I'd be in today was going to be something that I took a risk on a class that I wanted to take because I just wanted to try food. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really wanted to go to school to be a doctor. If you want my honest opinion, that's something I really wanted to do. I enjoy medical enough that I read about it. I've taken courses on it, and that's just like the hush hush about me. But respectfully, I wanted to be around the art of food. So my first gig was a Hilton in Newburgh, and I was a dishwasher. And I remember watching the chef, my chef's name at the time was Chef Arian Ghani. And that was my first mentor in my life. And, at that time, he's like, hey, you can either do this or you can do this. It's your choice. But, you're going to have to be in the dish pit because I don't know how you are. And I said, all right, remind you, I was in retail throughout high school. So retail money is not the same as dishwasher money. You know what I mean? So I knew it off the bat that if I was going to do this, I really had to be like involved and really invested, because I went from making $1,000 to like $700-800 at that time. And that's the difference between hustling and retail and then working at a restaurant, you know? If I would have still been hustling at retail, I would have just still been at that same space. And by taking that step back and taking that investment and acknowledging the time, and it wasn't the best time because honestly, I just graduated high school. My wife was just pregnant, and that's when it all starts going downhill because, now you got to support your wife, got to support your child, and you just got a high school. How you going to do all that at once, right? So humble comes in very quickly, but reality comes in check first. So that's when I had to go in and start putting the play in place, because I said, all right, I can hustle all day and be in retail all day, but that's not a career. For me, that's just a quick, clean deed type of deal.
Yeah, it wasn't something that you wanted to stay in.
Correct. So
Right.
It was like I switched up the game on that. Started watching the chef, started paying attention to what the cooks were doing, to the fact that they needed me one night. And I told him, I was like, the sous chef quit. The light cook didn't show up, and my man had a wedding for 150 people, bro, not including 100 people to bang out in the front. And I'm like,
that's huge.
And he's like, he looked at me, he's like, what? And I was like, I'll help you, chef. I can help you. He's like, how are you going to help me? He's like, you've been doing dishes. So what makes you think you're going to be able to help me do what any of my chefs could do? I said, chef, I watch every single person work every single day. I work 6 to 7 days a week here, nonstop, full-time, overtime. I said, every time I take the trash out, I understand what's going in that trash, if that makes sense. He looked at me, he says, I've never been heard such a word, such a saying. What does that mean? I said, it means that everything that has gotten into that trash, I probably already learned how to do, of the reason why it's in the trash. I said, and if you have me here, I can help you. I can support you. Just guide me. He tells me, he says, all right, we'll figure it out. Throws me on the line. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I kid you not.
Hey, but
I didn't know what I was doing.
But you threw yourself in there. You threw yourself in the mix right there. That's all you need.
I threw myself in the mix. I was like, he was like, grab me the romaine, grab me this, grab me that, do this, do that, drop this on the grill, drop this on that. And the whole time I was just like, yes, chef, yes, chef, yes, chef, yes, chef. And I'm just doing it. And it just
handled it.
Came into clockwork, bro. That week, pay change, position change, personality change, reality change. If it would have been for that day of him taking the risk on me and me actually taking the risk of myself, that would have never been put in a position that I'm in today.
Wow.
Okay. So was there so once you started there and you started going on, was there like particular chefs that you watched all the time, like you kind of honed in on their style and like how they were doing things?
100%. So I'm a big visual person. I started watching Breakfast first. And it's the reason why I started watching Breakfast first is because you're very hands-on with the guests and it's very, very intimate. That's your make and break. Dinner, at the end of the day, you can go to dinner, you could be with your guests, but it's kind of a set forgotten at times. And the thing is that, you have dinner and you have experience, right? The dinner execution, that talks one different type of conversation. For you to go in and be early in the morning to get everything ready and then be happy through the process and them acknowledging you through that happiness and carrying that over, that's the hard part. Because I can't tell you that I was happy every single time I walked in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Legit. So I've watched the way that they done things early. And honestly, you learn more of a prep in the morning than you do at nighttime. Because remember, nighttime is all about execution, right? You're not really prepping hard when you come during dinner time. So I learned so much during the breakfast time that I think it gained me more of the experience and how to deal with speed when it comes to a kitchen faster. When it comes to like dinner time was more refined, more teaching you how to place these cooking methods in an order and teaching you how to plate correctly, keeping consistency, making sure that you're executing correctly when it comes to the dish for the chef, and making sure that you're not burning stuff, right? Because you got cost control. You got to make sure that the product that you've gone in and sous vide for 12 and 13 hours is never going to burn and get wasted for when the time you're going to execute it out. So I think that the breakfast time for me was excellent for some part of my career. And the dinner time is really what merged everything all together for me to do my executions.
Okay. I got a question here that somebody just sent me. And they want to know, who is Chef Rodrigues' choice if he had to make his own fantasy dining experience with, and why? Which chef would you for one day like to experience your menu?
Ooh, that's
That's a good question.
that's a really good question. I've been blessed to be able to be partners with a lot of great chefs. You know what? I would say that the one chef right now that I would like to do a menu with, and this chef I would say is a Michelin chef. I've seen this chef start, guys. Remind you, I've seen this chef start in a restaurant in the same area. So this all goes back to Swan and Dolphin. So in Swan and Dolphin, I was a chef over there in Swan and Dolphin, right? In Swan and Dolphin, it's broken up in so many different restaurants, all right? And there's one particular restaurant which is run by Todd English Blue Zoo. It's owned and run by name Todd English Blue Zoo. One particular chef named Ryan Rattino. Phenomenal chef, man, phenomenal. When you see him, when you see his art, you know he was going to go somewhere big. Okay, he was going to go somewhere big. Watching him and his growth really influenced some of the dishes I even did. And it's crazy because I worked in another segment of the restaurant. He ran Blue Zoo. I was in Garden Grove at the time. And then he left and went to Michelin's, and he had some chefs that followed him. And it was excellent because I seen his journey as I was growing in the career. He was growing in the career as well. And it's cool because we both were in the same house together, under the same leadership, under the same teacher. So it was exciting to see the way he grown in the business, that he ended up opening Bresca, which I believe is in Washington. It's a Michelin. Then he ended up opening Joint, which is a 2 Michelin. And now he's got, other restaurants that are being like, I think one is in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, or one is in Orlando. And he's just killing it. And it's like, and I watch it. I'm like, chef, you guys are killing it. That's probably one chef I would definitely love to do a menu combined with him for sure, because I've grown with him in the business and we've grown differently. And for our mindsets now, colliding together what we are today, I think that would make a badass menu. Ryan Rattino.
Now do you have a favorite dish that you like to do, more than, I know being a chef, you gotta know everything.
Eating or making?
So is it like one in particular one that you just love to make?
I have a couple of signature dishes out there. And then I got ones that I love, right? So if you ask me what's your favorite dish to make, is probably pasta, more than likely. Pasta is so beautiful, man. The ingredients, it doesn't take much ingredients to make such beautiful art when it comes to pasta. And between stuffing it with, a farce or, a mascarpone cheese or, whatever, you may want, truffles, ricotta, something, everything that you put in a pasta has a story. And it like pasta pillows any type of ingredient you put into it. So no matter what you put in it, it speaks its own story. So I think that's where for me it's more intimate. I love pasta. I love handling pasta, and I think that the creativity and the textures of how you could, make is what makes everybody really, connected.
Now now throughout your travels, you've actually were a chef to quite a few famous people.
Yeah.
You cook for the Obamas, you cook for Trump,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure that everybody on here is with one or the other. So,
Yeah.
what was your experience dealing with someone of that magnitude?
So got the pleasure cooking for both sets, right? So Obama's was during the time for his presidency, took care of the Secret Service, the entire outlook when they came and visit New York. The Trumps was the more hands-on, the more intimate with the family. That was probably that. For me, that was an excellent time in my career. And they treated me so very well. They're phenomenal people, man. They love and they love hard, and that's just what the family's about. I don't live in the political world of picking and choosing, you know what I'm saying? But I got a very short time with the Obamas. I got a longer time with the Trumps. All the way from President Trump all the way down to Tiffany Trump, Byron Trump. The entire family is beautiful. Eric Trump was who I, really took care of with Laura. And at that time they had baby Luke. So, now he's such a big boy. But, they just had a beautiful operation. They were really, involved with their business. They're very, very intelligent people, man. They're very smart.
I have a question on that. So when you were cooking for either of them, you're cooking for that level of magnitude, you know what I mean? Do you have like some like stage fright almost, you know what I mean? Like you're going like, man, like this is a big deal, like how is that to like process?
I think that, when you cook at that magnitude, your level of confidence changes a little bit. When you're, it's a very big superior family, but they are so intimate and so loving that they don't give you that type of like friction. You know what I'm saying? So it almost felt like you were cooking for your family with them. It never felt like I was cooking for anybody above
Yeah,
me
like a
or for what it
barrier,
was.
like you're cooking for the king or
Correct.
something like that. You
Yeah,
can't even
it
look at
was-
the guy. Yeah.
No, that family, man, from the time the door you walk in, they're greeting every single person,
That's
every
cool.
single corner. They didn't
Wow.
miss one person. And that's the truth about every single one of them. So every person that is working for them or around them, they acknowledge from start to finish. From the time they walk in all the way to the time they walk out. I get amazed when I seen it. But it was like cooking for the family there. It was never a feeling of discomfort. I've cooked for other celebrities for sure. And I think when you start cooking for different celebrities, that sensory turns off, right? Then they start classing you as a celebrity chef. And then it's like, okay, what does that mean, right? Because that could talk so many different avenues. And and it's I mean, you're cooking for celebrities. You're a celebrity chef, you're on TV. They consider you a celebrity chef. Me personally, I'm humble. I like to say I'm an H celebrity for humble, H, right? That's where I feel like I sit in. Even though that I do cook for those A-listeds and B and C's, at the end of the day, they are so there's some of them that are mad chill, and there's some of them that that the money's real, bro, and you just can't look at them. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna BS you. I will be honest with you. Like there's some people out there. I'm not gonna mention those names for sure, but because they always say don't ever beat your hero, right? Don't ever beat your hero. So it's just one of those things. So respectfully, shout out to everybody that I've cooked for. But nah, they never gave me that impression, man.
No, that's awesome.
Honest.
Did you have one that you just like overall experience? Like you was like, man, I just like this dude or her. Did you have one like that? Like you did a dinner for, and you just like, man, I just really like this.
Out of any celebrity?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I think that. Oh man, how do I not get people to text me and be like, "Why didn't you say my name?"
You know that's gonna happen.
That's gonna happen. They'll be like, "Oh, so you don't
Yeah,
feel like
you
that
don't even
about
remember
me?
me.
You don't feel
Okay,
that about me?"
Okay, so give one and then give a runner up. Like, okay, like this one,
All right,
but
my
then this
favorite,
one here, I can't leave this one out.
Okay, my favorite, I had to say, because this person was, I mean, these guys were down to earth. They were very vibe. They made me feel like home. They're from New York. It was Smoke DZA and Westside Gunner. So Smoke DZA and Westside Gunner were really cool. They're very down to earth type of people. Hulk Hogan, I mean, friends of the family. I was just at their wedding.
Wow.
You know, they're Nick's a good friend of mine. So, you know, people like that is, you know, when you see them on TV for all those years and you go and you stand next to them and you're amazed and you're sitting there and you're like, how did I make it in a room with the Hogans and the Big Show? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to figure this out in your mindset and you got little Pump sitting behind you, you know what I mean, at a wedding, and you're trying to understand, like, man, I came from New York, you know? And that's when it becomes real cool, man. It becomes real cool. Chris Tucker's real cool, for sure. You know, you got a lot of down-to-earth people, man. You know, and Rebecca De Monterey, Tom Sizemore, God rest his soul, you know, he passed away. You know, had a conversation with that man, cooked for that man, then had a conversation with him in the elevator. His mom then just passed away, bro, before I had that conversation with that man, bro. You just never know. I mean, I end up falling in places, a conversation with people that I'm like, you know, and they just feel confident and comfortable to talk to me, which was really nice. I think
Yeah,
it's a Pisces thing, bro. It might be. So that horoscope.
Now you started a brand called FOMO Chef.
For sure.
So kind of explain exactly what it is. Like what made you start this?
So I started FOMO Chef. First of all, this was an idea that I've been working on for about three and a half years, right? I've always wanted to create something. I always wanted to do something that was going to talk to many entrepreneurs around the world and everybody kind of merging together and working together, because everything is so competitive in our field, right? You got a restaurant competing with a restaurant down the street, right? And they're not talking to each other because they're too busy worrying about who's going to be the best. While you got everybody else that's being cautious on how they're eating, being smart on how they're doing the deliverance when it comes to bodybuilding, making more sense what they're digesting, making more sense of the science of the food. People are being cost efficient. People want the experience. Now people want people coming to their house to be able to cater to them, you know. So then you start thinking, I'm sitting down, I'm like, man, you know that right now I can go in and I know all the subscription people are going to hate me for this, but you go in and you go into subscription and then they're like, all right, put your profile in, put your information in, and now you're going to go in and we're going to hope to send you some work. Keyword is hope, which I get. And I wake up to that and I say, man, I hope life hope life's going to be beautiful today. But the idea is that there's, in that hope that you go through that process, there's a lot of emotional deposit that you're hoping that you're really going to get back in return. So I didn't ever want to put people in that position, man. People that know me understand that I work with my heart and I love them enough to be able to do what I got to do to support them and cater them through the process. Now, it doesn't have to be always monetary, but it also has to make sense to what you're doing in life. For me, when I created FOMO, first of all, FOMO means fear of missing out. And the reason why I did fear of missing out was because I believe that all the businesses that colliding with FOMO Chef are going to be those fear of missing out type of businesses, because you're going to want to be implemented with them and you're going to want to work with them because they are truly the best of the best. And we also are a brand that's scaling other brands. So I have networks, I have connections, my team has networks, has connections. A lot of my team members are monsters in the game. So for example, I have one of my business partners, Jeffrey Schlitzel, which is, you know, he owns Bacon Cartel. He is a celebrity chef. He's an author chef as well. And, he's a monster in the game for butchering. He's a monster in the game for vegan food. I mean, he has that strength and that he could create in 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Then we have, my Jose Lopez, which is my media guy. He's my head of media. He's very well known in Tampa area. So now you're building up that brand. And then you have Diani. Dion is my marketing brand girl that focuses on. And then we have Roberto Barrero that oversees the brand as a whole. And he's the one that came up with the logo. And, it's every single person owns a company. You see what I'm saying? Every single person owns a company. So it's like taking all of these head honchos from their companies and saying, listen, let's now community the situation. Let's work together. And now let's go and tackle the responsibility as a whole. And everybody gets taken care of. So to me, at the end of the day, we're giving all the entrepreneurs jobs. And then now those people we're helping them build their teams, and now their teams can go in and grow their brands, and everybody's has work, and nobody's now relying on subscriptions. You understand? And Formal Chefs is a one-stop shop. So we're very big on food and beverage, right? We're working on wine dinners and wine dinner pairings. I have Chris, that he is a business partnership as well. He does the beverage director. He's a level 2 som. He's worked in Michelin's in Spain. He has the experience. He has the understanding, and he talks to the U.S. and European brand. That's an animal, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, you really have to be able to understand what I just did there. I literally took strong business runners and now said, you know what? Here's my network. Here's my connections. Here's my people. Because now as a collab, as a community, now we can go in and make money as a family. And we're not just touching one step or competing with each other. And it's crazy because what we did is that we started going from cities that were more powerful in the F&B business. And now I started putting chapter leaders in there. So now I got chapter leader chefs running those cities, chapter leader media people teams running those cities. My brand and marketers are now overseeing all of those operations and all those opportunities, because our job is to not only grow the opportunity for the business, but also grow the community while we're doing the focus. So there's so many levels to this that we're really integrating now, food and beverage as a whole, so that ever a time comes that we have to shut down or a restaurant shuts down, which happens often, guys. You got to understand that. Restaurants are one of the hardest businesses to run. Once you're in it, you're committed. And if you don't get out of it on time or sell it, you're in debt. Okay. And the ROI is crazy. You got to really know what you're doing to be part of something like that. Do you guys understand what ROI is?
Mm-hmm.
So return on investment.
There you go. That's very important to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if those things are not balanced correctly, that's when it starts becoming more of a detachment, and then people start losing on our business. Formal Chefs, we also are building the Culinary program, which is very big for us. And that's going to be more my nonprofit organization. That's something that I want to be in schools. I want these kids to go back into learning and back into doing the fundamentals, man. I mean, think about it. When the kids go to school, they're teaching them schoolwork, and now there's so many levels of private schools. There's so many levels of regular public schools. And it's like, who are we taking care of, right? If we give this to adults, that's great. Congratulations. That adult can change his mind in 30 seconds and say, I don't want to do this no more. A child builds an emotional attachment. And when they build that emotional attachment, that's when we find them at their best at that age. And then it's our job to be able to perfect that opportunity for them to be growing in that success.
Capture that passion.
Exactly. And that's when it becomes more desirable, guys. The same thing that you guys are doing, you could be teaching that, and you could be, and I'm sure people are going to watch it and they're going to learn through it, because you got to understand, anything that you do outside the box is a learning opportunity for somebody else to engage and grow. You know what I'm saying? So we're all teachers at the end of the day on this podcast. We're all teachers. We just don't touch the same subjects. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Boy, that was deep there, bro. That was, man, I like how you
that was awesome.
Like how you brought that in where you basically took these separate entities and you basically just put them all together and just made one big conglomerate out of it.
It's smart.
Yeah, man. I made a home for all of us to be able to sit in.
Nice.
It's cool.
Let's see. I got another question that someone sent. It says, you also offer meal prepping with FOMO chefs that included healthy meal prepping and any dietary needs. Will you be joining other chefs that offered frozen meals that could be purchased in grocery stores?
So right now, we love the idea. So right now we cater to a lot of bodybuilders, and a lot of these bodybuilders are trained the Olympic bodybuilders, right? A lot of them are Mr. Olympias, which is really nice. And what we do is that we do have people that we work with, and I do have people as far as different nutritionists that I am going to be working with to really break down, to really help out. And before I offer a service or before I offer an opportunity for somebody to feel that they need to take advantage of, I always try things myself. So I'm going to tell you an even more deeper story. 7 months ago, I was 499 pounds. Okay, because tonight's about deep stories, right? 499 pounds 7 months ago. Bishop, you know how I used to look, bro. Okay, I'm happy to say that today I'm 395 pounds. Okay.
Wow.
By learning, and you got to, again, self-reflect, right? How am I going to sell meal plans to people and tell people that, you know what, Formal Chefs knows the right vision to take and right steps to take in somebody's health if I couldn't do it myself? I was suffering from almost diabetes, and I was almost suffering from, I had a fatty liver, okay? And I ended up reversing my fatty liver. I ended up reversing the diabetes situation, and I'm doing the steps that now I can talk and offer to people. So right now, what I'm saying is that we currently are taking care of our locations, depending on where my chefs are located. So for example, if you are looking for a meal plan breakdown, or you're looking for us to cater that responsibility to you, we are dealing with other companies right now to be able to make sense for us to be able to populate those dishes for you. At this stage, if you're not in local cities that we are in currently, then it would be a little bit harder, but we could still break down the menus and also break down the calories for you to intake in your system and even show you. But that is something that we are going to be doing, is showing you the different cooking courses. And that will be another step for FOMO chefs, that you will have that one-on-one to learn the different healths of the process of products and also how to utilize them in many ways. That's gonna be a stay tuned type of situation though.
Oh man, that'd be great. Let me see here. I have man, I'm gonna tell you, I have a page here. One of the people can't see. I got a page here of questions, and I got these questions. There were a couple people who once they realized you was going to be on the show, and they was like, I got some questions I want to ask. I'm like, okay, then write them down. Let me see what you want to ask. And when I went through them, I'm like, wow, these are some really, really awesome questions that you asking here. So another question here they have is, it says, your appearance on the Food Network and Supermarket Stakeout was an experience very near and dear to your heart because of your parents. Can you tell us about the significance of your appearance on that show, on those shows?
Wow, man. Woo. Woo.
So somebody been doing some research.
Someone's been doing some research on me, boy. Yes. So Food Network is very dear to my heart. At that time, I remember as a kid watching Iron Chef, watching Mary Patali, watching, different celebrity chefs. My parents were very intrusive in these things. They used to watch it, but like also, and I have to say this because it's kind of funny. With the amount of shit they watch from Food Network and everything, they never made any of those dishes. Not once. Right? Like you would think like you know what I mean? Like you making, like you had Iron Chef and you're like, Quizza, what is he making? Oh, he's making a South Bavarian taco with a nice little cream cheese on it. And my father was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm looking at him like, you should make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the whole point of this? But he used to, bro, I swear to gosh, that was the only thing he would put on. And my mom would always put this on. And it was constantly Food Network. And at that time, I'm a young boy, man. All right. I'm 34 years old. I'm a young man. You know what I'm saying? So that's a long time. All right. Food Network has came a very, very long way. At that time, those were the only shows you had. That's a memory that I had of my parents. Okay. When I lost my mom, my parents got to see my growth in my career. And my mom used to tell me, she's like, John, try to get on Food Network. Try to get on Food Network. Like, I could see you on Food Network. I could see my son on Food Network. And my father would be like, yo, try to get on Food Network. He was like, man, trying to get on Food Network is going to be like cooking for the president. What? Pops, I just cooked for the president's family. And you over here telling me that getting on Food Network is going to be more tough? I said, listen, if Food Network ever wanted me to come out and do a show for them, I'll do it. Yo, how my mom passed, bro. And then I went through that with my dad. All right. I lost both parents. Boom, boom. And I said, you know what? I was talking to my wife and I wasn't feeling it. I was like at my lowest of my lowest of my lowest. Like I lost the world. I didn't know what world I lived in anymore. It felt so different and so empty that even though I was able to wake up and see my wife and my kids, I'm so gracious and appreciate it. And my little brother, by the way, my little brother's with me. At the same token, it wasn't like I could call my mother and be like, Ma, I finally did it. Like I made it to Food Network. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
And I think that's when, for me, I really appreciate my wife for this, and very much so. And my wife's my best friend, so you know I respect this, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you know, my wife looked at me and she's like, "Look, this is what your parents always wanted you to do anyway. So do it with their names, do it with the respect level that you can checkmate it." And I did. I got on the plane, head to Phoenix, got off that plane, got into the car limo, got to the hotel, sat in the balcony, bro, and looked out and looked at a bunch of mountains. And I was like, holy shit, I'm here. Got into the spot, met Chef Alex. She's a sweetheart. She's a New Yorker, you know. So she, you know, we look intimidating until you actually talk to us. You know what I'm saying? And she looked at me and she was like, listen, you're gonna kill it. I know you're gonna kill it because I've been watching you, I've seen you. And I appreciate that. I was like, wow, that's cool. If you haven't seen the show, go see the show. I'm not gonna spill nothing in the show. But they left me in a very good position in that show. So, and I don't mean it like I didn't win or lose. You see what I'm saying? I didn't win or lose. I came out there super understanding where my career was about to hit, super understanding where I wanted to be. My mind and my mentality got way more hungrier. My focus of understanding of growth went more strict. And I said, you know what? I really manifest this. And I say I manifest a lot of things in life. And I believe in it, and I believe in God. And I knew for a fact that those two are just colliding way too much together, that I need to now start opening my eyes to start acknowledging what my worth is, what my understanding is, what my beliefs is, what my growth's going to be. And that's when that's when you started acknowledging like, yo, he's coming in now, he's cooking for these people. He's coming in now, he's cooking for these people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, you know, not everybody gets Lenny S in a room from Rock Nation, from Jay-Z's crew. You know what I mean? Not everybody got DJ Nasty in the room with you, DJ Khaled's right-hand man. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to Frankie Negron's concert and giving Frankie Negron a hug and a kiss and saying, what's up, how you doing, and chilling with him. These are some icon people that people will sit back and they watch and they acknowledge, and they're watching them, and they're power people in the business, respectfully, but not really understanding, like, man, why are they these power people? Why are there these legends? Why are there these legacies? And you start learning quickly, guys, right? You guys are going to be legends because in reality, you guys are offering something that nobody ever is taking the challenge in, right? That's what makes you two unique. And that's when you start realizing, you know what? My family tree was not the greatest of the family tree, bro. I'm Puerto Rican Italian, right? It's up to me to make the family tree make more successful. I plant my seeds the way I want to plant them. And however I want to set them, that's a whole new branch over for me to be able to acknowledge what growth is going to be for the Rodriguezes. You feel me? So I understood right there in the middle. And I said, you know what? I'm a New Yorker that got out of New York, that came to Florida, that respected Florida enough to blow up in Florida. And I love Florida very much from the top to the bottom of the damn state, because without Florida, and without them taking a risk on Chef Johnathan Rodrigues, it would never say Celebrity Chef Johnathan Rodrigues, founder of FOMO Chefs, bro. And it all starts on the first investment. And the first investment is your damn self. You have to focus on yourself. You got to understand that if you don't love yourself hard enough, you're never going to see the growth out of yourself. And I lost a lot of shit, guys, right? And I learned very quickly, you know what? Take what you learn, take what you grow, and start applying it. And now you're going to implement. And now this is the time that when your mother and your father was telling you stuff, now is the time you should have listened. Now implement. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And that's how life has been turning out. So that's why Food Network is so intimate to me. Shout out to my mother and my father. Their birthday's February 9th. It was my mother, and then my dad's March 2nd, you know, and they'll be never forgotten.
Hey, man, that was awesome. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they both looking down, watching. Yeah. You know, always. I mean, I'm a firm believer that.
Oh, they know.
I'm a firm believer that we have ancestors and that our ancestors follow us daily to keep us on the right path.
That's how I feel.
You actually believe, and that's what. And I feel that that's the same with you. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that kind of keeps me moving, like just not staying stagnant. Keep, you know what I mean? Just keep grinding because, you know, you get into them situations and you know that, okay, I may be in this situation, but I know that this is not my end goal. This is not where I'm supposed to be. You know, this is just a part of the journey that's going to teach me something, so that way when I do move to my rightful place, I learned something from this. I took my experiences from this and being able to apply it later on. And then, you know, that's kind of one of the things that I'm going through now. Like I said, I'm going through some stuff now that, like I said, I was not even planning on doing. Had no idea that this stuff was even going to open. But I mean, doors been opening up left and right. So it has to be where I'm supposed to be, because if I wasn't supposed to be there, they wouldn't open. And
sure.
Being the fact that they're opening as quick as they are, I'm thinking in my mind, you know what? My ancestors is two, 3 steps ahead, holding the door open, telling me to come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Facts.
Come through over here. Right.
Right. It's your time. Come on through. So, yeah, man, I just firmly believe that. And, you know what I mean? I think with you, I can pretty well guess every good thing that came on so far. I can pretty much guarantee you that you look up and point up, because you know that's where
every time, bro. Yo, every time, bro. Like, man, yo, Bishop, don't ever do that on live TV like that. Every time, bro. I wake up, and I step outside and I drop my kids off and I come home and I'm like, damn, I didn't do this a long time ago. It's all about reposition, guys, right? And there's many nights that I look at the stars and I'm like, wow, how beautiful. You know how many nights I've worked under a ceiling? Hours. And like I get to sit back and I would smoke a cigar and just look at the stars and be like, wow, they're that beautiful. It's the little things you start appreciating in life, guys, and you don't acknowledge it until things start happening, right? You gotta, people don't react until things happen, unfortunately, right? People don't naturally just wake up and say, oh yeah, I gotta go do it, It has to be a momentum. It has to be something that's driving you, that wants to have that fire built in for you to wake up and be like, yeah, I'm ready for it. And Bishop, bro, like, you're going to keep being blessed. And Mike Ball's going to keep being blessed. And the reason why you're going to keep being blessed is because you guys are naturally putting out great, hearted, love content, right? You guys are doing things at a level, a caliber that, again, you don't need to seek with any competitors, because what makes you unique is what unique.
Right. Right. And it's that passion behind it, just like you were
100%.
saying. It's that, for me, I have a show that I do Monday through Saturday, actually, but Monday through Friday for the general public. And that's something I get to wake up to every day. And I'm blessed with that. Like, I look at that and go, I dreamt of this. I mean, over a decade ago, I dreamt of this moment. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I'm here. I made it to that point where I wish to have made. I mean, it took well over a decade, but still, it's forever, ceilings up. There is no limits on this kind of work. You know what I mean? And that's something that I really enjoy in that.
And that's a blessing, man. Like, again, like doing what you love and loving what you're doing is the reality of life that should be.
Right.
So you should never be doing something you don't want to do.
Facts.
And you're not having fun. You know what I mean? I agree. So what's the next movie you gonna be in, Bishop? Because I'm trying, you know what I'm saying?
You know what?
Y'all don't know. He's an actor, people. He is an actor. You know what I mean? So if you got Mike Ball as a main host, you know what I'm saying, for his own show, damn well Bishop is an actor somewhere. That man's beard is so on point. Callie got nothing on you right now, bro. That's some facts.
Oh, that's true.
That's
bro. Man, I'm gonna tell you that that whole situation started out that was something that I was not supposed to get involved in.
Yep, just fell on your lap like that.
I was only supposed to be in the background doing some little technical stuff in the back end, and before you know it, it like turned full circle. So it's like I said, we did the first movie. Actually, it's getting ready to come out on Prime here real soon. Jumped right into another one, and they had gave me a role, and I was I'm like, okay, fine. I did a couple scenes of it, and then they called me and they was like, hey, about that role, we're gonna have to switch it out. And I'm like, damn, I done hosted up that bad. And he was like, no, actually, he said, no, actually, it's different. We're gonna take you off that role. We're gonna give you the lead role. Are you interested? I'm like, wow. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, this is, coming into the second movie. Okay, I got a lead role already. Okay, cool. So I'm all in at that point, and then so we almost got this, but the second one just ended. And I got two more. I got one I'm gonna start here in a couple weeks. I got another one gonna start shortly after that. But then I got a call today, just before the show came on, where I just got offered another lead role in a completely different spot. You know what I mean? It's something that I had applied for a little bit ago, but I hadn't heard anything from it. So I was like, you know what I mean? They probably found somebody else. And this morning out the blue, I get a text. Hey, can you send me a picture of this and a picture of this? I'm like, okay, send it to him. And then this evening about 7:20, then they emailed me an offer for the next one. So I got 3 to do. Just finished 2. I got 3 more. And this
Oh,
is all within the past, it hasn't even been a year. So it's been like within 6, 7 months. So, I mean, that ain't nothing but God there. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like I said, because that was something that I wasn't even supposed to be, you know what I mean, doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
My baby was this right here, you know, and like I said, me and Mike got together, well, actually a year ago. It's actually been a year that we started this
Mhm.
show, and it's grew. You know what I mean? We're sitting over a little over 50,000 viewers, subscribers, and I mean, like I said, it's going good. You know what I mean? I know people that's been in here way longer doing way less, but we grinded. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm busting ass every week trying to put these shows out, plus do the other stuff that, you know what I mean, because I'm thinking all of this is going to come, it's all going to combine together. Just like when I was talking about you and how you was taking those entities together and putting them together to make that conglomerate. I think this, along with this, like all this stuff is going to merge together soon.
Mhm.
And when it does, it's going to, I mean, it's going to be a great thing. So that's what I
Hospitality,
keep pushing for.
hospitality talks everything, bro. Hospitality talks entertainment. Hospitality talks food. Hospitality talks music. Hospitality talks this. You know, like you are. I mean, I'm excited to see you on a billboard. I'm excited, bro. Bishop's gonna go on and win the Oscars, and Bishop's gonna be like, I don't
Hey,
even know. I
on
don't
that
even know.
billboard, there needs to be a 9 in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
bro. He
like, you got to
better.
be, yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, he's gonna represent hard, but he
I'll
gonna
tell
be in
you,
a
if it be
suit.
a
He gonna be in a
billboard,
suit with
you
the
already
small
know what
black.
the picture gonna be. That's what the picture gonna be. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because you know it ain't come from nowhere else. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Facts.
but we just cracked an hour, so we're gonna tone it down. Um, I'm gonna let you get the last word in, John, but I'm gonna go ahead and do mine and let Mike do his, and I'm gonna let you close us out today. Um,
Wow, wow, it's a pleasure. Well,
so
first and foremost, definitely shout out to you guys, man. I really appreciate everything. You know, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to showcase not only my story, but also to be able to let everybody know about Formal Chefs. Definitely look us up on Instagram. You can look on formalchefs.com. We are in the process of getting that working. Get ready to see what a bunch of loving food and beverage entrepreneurships look like all at once. And we're excited. And congratulations to the both of you for your growth and your energy. And I couldn't say thank you anymore. This was amazing.
go ahead,
Nice.
Mike.
Well, I always appreciate anybody that's willing to come up here and talk in front of a live audience, man. It's always something I really respect when people do. Even though, like, hey, I'm not a chef by any means, but I'm always the one that loves to sit there and like try to learn something new. And so I'm appreciative of your testimony and your story and the actual emotion and depth that it goes down, because I think anything that we do with passion like this, there is going to be a long story to it. You know, there's going to be some depth, and finding, you know, your way to where you are now is a humongous, you know, thing to you, and it should be for everyone else, because it's, you know, total touching stories. So I appreciate you and Archbishop, you know, for making this happen. Thank you again.
Well, like I said, we're gonna close. We're gonna close another week. We'll be back in 7 days with something. We're gonna hit you in the chest with something hard next week, because we've been lax on you guys for a couple weeks now to give you a breather. But you know it's a lot going on out there. So we're gonna hit that back hard like we always do. But to everyone, thank you all for coming out. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Hit the like button on your way out. Anybody new to come on, hit the subscribe button. Come on in here and check us out again, because trust me, if you come on this show and you don't learn nothing, something wrong with you.
No kidding.
Also, you can go on the new site we got up now, www.thedominanteffectpodcast.com. Go on there. We got steady putting new stuff on. Like I said, we just became active a couple weeks ago, but we got merchandise. We got a little bit of everything on there, and we're steady adding stuff to it. So go on there and check it out. And Johnathan, once again, brother, I appreciate you coming out. It's been a long time coming. You've been telling me for a while, like, come on, man, mess with me, man. Come on, man, let me get.
Yeah, man.
But I'm really glad that we were able to link up and get this done. And hopefully we can get you on here again. Maybe we can get you behind that stove one day, man, to show.
Oh yeah, we do
show
that.
Everybody, what's up? Show them how you really do it out there.
Yeah, so I got test kitchens out in Tampa. So what we could do is we can get you guys out, and then we could do a video segment. So let's put something together so everybody can go and enjoy it, and then they can see what your skills are. Now we could get you in the Michelin chef world. Get your own gig there, bro.
Yeah, we could do that.
You guys look like chefs anyway.
Yeah, I can.
Right.
I ain't gonna brag, but I could burn a little bit behind that stove, man. I'm gonna tell you. My mom and my grandmama told me, well, brother, so I'm pretty good at that.
You got real recipes then. If mama and grandma told you got real recipes. That's different.
But thank you guys. We'll see you guys in 7 days. Peace out.
Absolutely. Much love to everybody.
Are you ready?